Oh God, my God, my beloved, my heart's desire. Oh Dios, mi Dios, mi bien amado, el deseo de mi corazón. The Bug, the exalted one, is the morn of truth. The Bug, the exalted one, is the morn of truth. Mungu wangu,
call on thee, O peerless one, O eternal one, O single one. I call on thee, O peerless one, O eternal one, O single one. Thou the sufficing, thou the healing, thou the abiding, O thou abiding one. Thou the sufficing, thou the healing, thou the abiding, O thou abiding one. Most praised one, O holy one, O helping one. I call on thee, O most praised one, O holy one, O helping one. Thou the sufficing, thou the healing, thou the abiding, O thou abiding one. Thou the sufficing, thou the healing, thou the abiding, O thou abiding one. بکیا سبحانو، بکیا قدسانو، بکیا مستعان. بکیا سبحانو، بکیا قدسانو، بکیا مستعان. أنت الكافي وأنت الشافي وأنت الباقي. أنت الكافي وأنت الشافي وأنت الباقي يا باقي. أنت الكافي أنت الشافي أنت الباقي. Thou the sufficing, أنت الكافي Thou the healing, أنت الشافي Thou the abiding, أنت الباقي. Oh thou abiding one. Oh Lord, Thou art the remover of every anguish and the dispeller of every affliction. Thou art He who banisheth every sorrow and setteth free every slave. The Redeemer of every soul, every soul. Oh Lord, grant deliverance through thy mercy, and reckon me among such servants of thine as have gained salvation. Salvation, salvation, salvation.
Behold a candle, how it gives its light. It weeps its life away, drop by drop to give its flame. You must die to the world and so be born again and enter to the kingdom of heaven. Look at me, follow me, be as I am. Abdul Baha, Abdul Baha. You are the angels, if your feet be firm, be steadfast as a rock that no earthly storm can move. And as you have faith, so shall your powers be. And know that till the end, I'm always with you. Look at me, follow me, be as I am. Abdul Baha, Abdul Baha. Love mankind, follow me, be as I am. Abdul Baha, Abdul Baha. And how I long to travel the world in utmost poverty and cry out, Ya Baha, God willing you may do this for me. Teach the cause, follow me, be as I am. Abdul Baha, Abdul Baha.
Alapa friends, welcome to the program number 904. As you know, on Thursday we have the programs in English, with the hope that our English speaking friends can join us as well. We are going step by step, and I'm sure that we're going to get there. So I have tonight some people they did not participate in devotional so much because they thought that maybe thinking that maybe they thought that it has to be in English, but it doesn't matter. A devotional portion it can be in Persian or in other languages as well, as long as just be concentrating more on English. Um, so. The purpose of this program in English is to, as I said, to have young generation to participate to the programs that we have, which actually we are gear up with more and more programs suit to their style and the way that they are thinking, and they are actually interested to listen. So I asked actually all of you before that if it's possible that talk to your friends, English-speaking friends, and try to invite them to our Thursday program. Is very important because you are a part of this team right now to help in order just to for Thursday programs. And we are here. We are spending time. We're trying to really serve the community as much as possible, and you are a part of it, and your participation is greatly appreciated. The other day, the door of Talari Aran Zoom was open, and the people they came in without us to be there as well. So I think it was great because actually Talari Aran is open all the time. The people they can meet each other over there, and then they can come in and just talking to each other, and then making rendezvous and just visit each other actually in the Zoom. So the Zoom is open. On Mondays, friends, we do have rerun programs at this time. We want to see the situation of the programming and then the kind of projects that we have in hand. Right now, my hand is full in order just to orchestrate it, the other programs that I have prepared for Saturday, Sunday, and Thursday and Friday. Thursday and Friday for Australia, 7:30 p.m. their time, which is going to be approximately 2 a.m. PST, California time. So I'm hoping that by the time that they are coming back from work, they do have a chance to sit and just listen to this program, which is very valuable programs. One of them is Mufawazat, Dr. Sirus Meshki, another one is storytelling, but by Mr. Sahba, which is actually very interesting as well. For time being, right now, the thing is we are testing. We are just going through the see actually through this program, find out that how the system works and how really this one can be beneficial for the friends who they are in Australia and the friends who really in PST, if they want to look at any programs with Los Angeles Times on Saturday and Sunday. We are watching, we are looking to see what's happening, and of course we're gonna just let you know the result of it soon. Today I'm actually trying to. We have a translator today as well. Nuria Khanum is here. I would like to bring him up for the translation. Friends, as I said before, so by the time that I trigger and start the translation, a window is going to come to your screen, and then you can push Korean again, and then you will hear Nuria Khanum translation if you would like to do so. Let me go with that one before I go with the continuation of the rest of my reports. let's do this one, transportation, and I'm gonna add Nuria Khanum. Bale. I'm saying English to Korean. The reason that I select Korean because it just is the name. It doesn't matter. It doesn't mean that you're gonna hear in Korean. Means the address is Korean. When you push the Korean, automatically you are going to be connected to Mrs. Azgandi for translation. So let's try out this one, and then we are going to continue. I think I already send you the things, and then Miss Azgandi is gonna talk to you. Okay, tonight Dr. Riazati is gonna talk about the concept of prayer in English. And of course, we are going to be open for question and answer after that, which is actually, I believe, is very important. I talk with him. He's going to have the same talk in Farsi as well next week on Tuesday. Tuesday is the 9th day of Ridvan. So I'm sure that some people, they are going out or maybe they have an event in their own community. So we have to see, but we try to keep the program on Tuesday. On Monday is the feast night, and we will not have program. But on Tuesday we will have program, and then of course the rest of the week we are going to have some other programs as well. So 2 programs for Australia and 2 programs for California time. As I said, this one is going to be done by my agent. I have 2 agents, which is actually doing it. One agent is responsible to take care of the programs for Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and one agent is the dispatch hired right now to do advertising. Automatically is going to send advertising to different portals in order just for you to see that when the program is. So I want you to be acquainted with this system because this one is going to be very useful in near future. I'm designing this system in order just to having a more wide range program and service program in near future, which actually all of you, I'm sure that you are going to be involved with that. Okay, tonight I have a program for you, like a breeze again. This program is going to be in English again, and Ms. Azgandi is going to translate it for you. So you are going to hear the translation of Mrs. Azgandi, and then after that we are going to go and get the questions. And if anybody raise their hand and they want to have a question from us, they can participate until 8 o'clock, because by 8, Dr. Riazati is going to join us. I do have some other news, which I'm going to just do it from now till 8 o'clock, till Mr. Riazati come to the program. Let's go with Like a Breeze by Harold Rosen this time. Let's hear.
My name is Harold Rosen, and I live in the Fraser Valley in the western part of Canada. And the work I do is teaching courses on world religions and world history, and I'm always trying to bring about a broader understanding. I'm 68 years old. I was born in New York City, and I only lived there about 4 years, but I remember it. As a very young child in New York City, I had the habit of fishing in a bucket. For some reason, I enjoyed this, and I even remember the feeling of it. I think it's because I enjoy the idea of searching for something, My mother would ask me questions like, I think she was trying to train me to think in a broad way. What's the difference between a rock and a plant? And what's the difference between a plant and an animal? And the difference between an animal and a human being? And she would tell me that there are things even higher than human beings, maybe angels, and God is higher yet. So I grew up, talking a lot with my mother about religious things, and my father and I would talk more about politics and science. I had a Jewish father who worked as a scientist. I had a Spanish Catholic mother. I'm the oldest of three in my family. I have two sisters. I'm 4 years older than the second one and 8 years older than the other one. It was a very, you might say, tolerant family. As a child, I was very interested in sports and in school too. I played baseball and American football, golf and bowling, volleyball, basketball, sports like that. And I was always a serious student. I think it's because my father as a scientist and my mother very well educated also. She became a social worker. So there was a lot of emphasis on figuring out how you can help the world be better. We traveled in many places in the United States, but then later on, I would go to Mexico and to Greece and to England, to Turkey, to India, to Israel, to China, to Japan, Korea. Going to college, I majored in psychology and philosophy and sociology. I assumed that I was going to be a professor or a writer. Those were the things I thought about being when I grew up. But I quickly got interested in religion too. And so right after college, I went into a seminary and trained to be a minister. So as a minister, I was specifically interested in education. I went into a field called religious education. And that meant I was supposed to be a minister to young people and to organize classes, for children, to learn about Unitarian Universalism. That's the denomination I went into. After college, I went to seminary, and that took about 5 years to get that degree. And that was a Master's of Religious Studies. Moved again and went to Idaho, and I served as a minister there, and I got another master's degree in philosophy there. So I ended up with 3 master's degrees. Back in Texas, in the United States, I have a master's in education too. So yeah, those are my 3 main interests, education, religion, philosophy. I lived in Idaho for 9 years, and when I lived in Idaho, I went to Vancouver, Canada, many times for conferences. And every time I went to Canada, I was so impressed with how multicultural it is. And this really fit with my interests. I started to tell myself, if I move to Canada, I can meet people from all over the world. I can learn more about world religions and different philosophies. So I started planning on moving to Canada. I moved to Canada in 1987. In California, in Idaho, I met Baha'is, but in Vancouver area, Baha'is actually approached me as a minister. They said, we're looking for leaders of thought, and we're trying to connect with leaders of thought, and we're offering workshops on consultation, a problem-solving method. And they described consultation, and it sounded like a beautiful thing. It struck me as something that could solve a lot of the problems, both family problems, regional problems, national problems, international problems. So from my interest in the Baha'is and consultation, I started reading a lot of other Baha'i literature. In fact, I went to the Baha'i bookstore almost once every 2 weeks and got another book. My library built up. And in fact, if I didn't show up once in every 2 weeks, they thought I was sick. This is my good friend Manu Mazub, and we're standing there holding up my book, and that's especially a joyous moment for me because he saw me teach a lot of courses, and the book came out of courses that were stretching over 8 years, right? So he knew that I was working hard on this. The reason I was so attracted to the reading about the Baha'i Faith was it was connecting my understanding of all the world's religions. This was important to me. It seemed to be saying that there's one God, that one God has guided humanity through Judaism, through Christianity, through Islam, through the Baha'i Faith, through Hinduism, through Buddhism, through the Chinese religions, through the indigenous or native religions all over the world. This was music to my ears. The reason I went into the Unitarian Church is that that word unity was there. So Unitarians also were concerned with truth belongs to everyone, so everyone should share their truth. We should form bigger and bigger circles of cooperation. That attracted me. But the Baha'i Faith was saying, this is not just a good idea to unify, this is what God wants from humanity. So that was a very powerful message. People saw me studying the Baha'i Faith and they saw me developing a new way of looking at the different religions. I started teaching world religions as a Unitarian minister. I would offer courses to my own congregation. And for example, we would have a session on Moses and Judaism, on Jesus and Christianity, on Muhammad and Islam, on Zoroaster and Zoroastrianism, all the major world religions. But as I was doing this, I was getting more and more attracted to Baha'u'llah, the founder of the Baha'i Faith. And I was realizing he's not just a wise man. See, that's what I was thinking of Baha'u'llah as a wise man at first. And I'm slowly realizing, no, he didn't have a chance to really study. He was saying what he was saying in Baha'i scriptures as a revelation. It was coming from God to him onto the written page. And I started to realize, I think I'm becoming a Baha'i, but here I am working in a church. And I'd served 25 years in a Unitarian church. And so at a certain point I realized I'm just going to finish up a few more things that I'm doing in my church, and then I'm going to declare myself a Baha'i. I already knew many Baha'is because they were doing multicultural work, multi-faith work in the community. In the year 2000, I was at the very end of my ministry, but I was at a Baha'i conference in Toronto, and I had the role of being a moderator for a panel at that conference. And they said, you can introduce yourself in one sentence, very briefly. Here's what I said about myself. I said, yesterday was the last day of my 25-year career as a Unitarian Universalist minister. Today is the first day of my life as a Baha'i. So that was the specific transition that I made, although I knew that this was coming for about 5 years. Because as I was reading Baha'i literature and meeting Baha'is, it was connecting all my interests. This is a quilt that was made by 40 women in the church where I served for 13 years. It brings back so many memories. I know these 40 women, they, did important work in the church. So each one expresses something that's symbolic of what they remembered about my ministry and about our community. So this was an amazing gift. Instead of being angry at me that I was leaving, they gave me this wonderful departure gift. I actually have gone back to this church. They've asked me to speak there too. So they didn't disown me because I moved from being a minister of a church to a Baha'i in the community. And some of these sort of show optimism. Like that's supposed to be a symbol that I was always looking up. And this one, 1 + 1 = 11. They thought that was my attitude toward life. All we need is a little bit to get started. This little book is also interesting. It's clipped together. It says in here, the Rainbow Making Curriculum. That was the name of I designed a curriculum for how can you improve your friendships with people of different cultural backgrounds. So rainbow is a symbol of many colors coming together and being one. So they made a little book. This represents that curriculum project. For that, I went across Canada and tried to study who lived in what city and what kinds of natural friendships might arise and how people could get to know each other. So they were symbolizing that. How did I tell my family that I became a Baha'i? It was not hard to do because my family was so religiously diverse and very tolerant. And they also knew me very well. They knew that I was studying the Baha'i faith. They knew I was very interested in world religions. My mother became a Baha'i too. I was very close to my mother all my life. And lots of discussions. She had been a Unitarian too when I was a Unitarian. She was learning about the Baha'i faith as I was learning about it. So she also declared. My father, the Jewish scientist who I mentioned earlier, he passed away at the age of 44, very young. So my mother remarried, and she married a Catholic man. So that's my stepfather. And it's a little unusual in that I performed the wedding. Not many people can say they married their mother, but I performed the wedding. And there's a funny story about this. Someone at the wedding said, "Where did you find that young rabbi to perform this wedding? He seemed to know you so well." And she said, "That young rabbi is my son. He's a Unitarian minister." So in my family, there's a Baha'i, my mother, Baha'i, my stepfather, Roman Catholic, my sister, a very spiritually curious person, and my other sister, Latter-day Saints or a Mormon. And if you add my uncles and aunts, there's also other points of view. But everyone, we all love each other. This is a picture of our wedding invitation, almost 10 years ago, and this is our thank you note to all the friends that came. So there were friends from my old church there. There were friends from my Baha'i community, friends from Wendy's Baha'i community, her family, my family. This is a picture of our family. Here's Wendy and me, and this is her son Kaida, and this is her daughter Kes, and this is her daughter's daughter Maleka, and her husband Bo, and we're celebrating little Maleka's first birthday. We're at the aquarium, which is a very creative, exciting place in Vancouver. As I was reading Baha'i writings, and especially the writings of Baha'u'llah, something happened to me. At one point I was reading the hidden words of Baha'u'llah, and it felt to me like this is not a man talking to me. It felt like these words are from God. They're coming directly from God through Baha'u'llah to me, right into me. This was a different kind of experience. Because usually when I'm reading, I'm looking for ideas. I want to understand. This was a direct encounter with God through Baha'u'llah. I think I was looking at the different religions the way a cultural anthropologist looks at them. You know, I was impressed with them. I was trying to see common ground, how they serve humanity, but they weren't, in a way, speaking to me in a spiritual way. Once I heard the voice of God through Baha'u'llah, it helped me go back and find God in the other scriptures as well, the Quran as well, the Hadith as well, the sayings of Muhammad. So that's a spiritual transformation. It doesn't matter your past. If your heart is searching, your answer will come like a breeze.
Yes, friends, we hear Mr. Rosen, and it was a very, really wonderful program by him. We have tonight, I do have some other announcement for you, but since I have Mrs. Larson here, I don't know if she wants to talk with us. Mrs. Larson, I'm unmuting you. If you would like to welcome to our program.
Hi,
Hi, how are you?
I'm good. Thank you.
So glad to see you here.
I'm Chinese from Taiwan original. Live in America now.
Okay. Very nice. So glad to have you right here. Yalia sent you already a memo. Send me your phone number or your email if you want to hear from us for future programs.
Okay, I will
Thank you
send
so
it
much.
later.
Thank you so much. Okay, friends, I think, but I think we do have a situation of a clip for the situation of the Baha'is in Iran. You are going to hear this one as well. Let's look at this clip.
That the following report contains distressing details about capital punishment. Executions have continued in Iran despite the current war. Human rights organisations are warning the regime is sending a brutal message to citizens who challenge it. Fears are mounting in the minority Baha'i community, and there are reports some members have been subjected to extreme torture in recent weeks. This story was produced in collaboration with SBS Persian. From her home in Melbourne, Amelia Nazari clings to hope that her cousin, Payvand Naimi, a follower of the Baha'i faith imprisoned in Iran, will be spared.
He was subject to continuous torture for 3 days. He was physically beaten, and he's been subjected to 2 mock executions. And all of this because they're trying to get him to confess to things that he has not done.
Naimi was arrested during Iran's most recent round of protests that was sparked by economic issues and is being held on charges his supporters say are fabricated.
False accusations that he's been involved in the death of 3 IRGC agents or Basiji agents. It's impossible for him to have committed that offense because at the time of the alleged deaths of those Basijis, he was already in detention.
His cousin, Borna Naimi, has also been imprisoned since March and has reportedly endured at least 2 mock executions. Human rights advocates say they are being persecuted because of their faith.
We are seeing an intensified crackdown on Baha'i citizens in Iran. We saw it after the June conflict with Israel. We've seen a lot of people charged as alleged spies or conspirators with the state of Israel, and we certainly are seeing that same narrative being pushed again.
According to human rights organisations, Iran's Baha'i community have been systematically persecuted since the 1979 Islamic Revolution, at a level the United Nations says constitute crimes against humanity.
It has included executions, it's included forced confessions, it's included harassment, torture, the denial of livelihoods, access to higher education. All of this has been attempts by the Iranian authorities to coerce the Baha'is to abandon their beliefs.
The Baha'i community is considered the largest non-Muslim religious minority in Iran, with an estimated population of 300,000. There are at least 20,000 people who identify as Baha'i in Australia, with estimates more than 10% of Australia's Iranian diaspora are followers of the faith.
We believe Iranians of any religion, of any ethnicity, of any background, have the inherent right to contribute to the future of their country.
Baha'is are not the only group facing persecution and the risk of death penalty in Iran. Since 2020, Iran has seen a steady rise in the use of capital punishment.
It's really sending the most horrific warning signal to anyone who seeks to be a political dissident or a human rights defender.
For our Momtazian, peace and unity are central principles of her faith, and she says it's this hope for a better future that binds the Baha'i community together.
No repression can essentially rob what the convictions inside someone's heart, their desire for freedom, their desire for justice, their desire to live a life according to dignity.
Jennifer Scherer, SBS World News. Coming up next, many face.
Yes, it was a report from Iran, actually. I'm sure that some of you are hearing our translator, Nuria Khanum, and then I have opened already captions from English to Farsi as well, that you are seeing it on the bottom of your screen. But remember that the reverse of this one is no good, because Zoom cannot handle Farsi to English. So, but the English to Farsi, I think, is very good. So I just look at it, I see that it's really acceptable. There is a movie, friends, that in 2025 has been premiered in New York by name of Cast Aside the Clouds. Cast Aside the Clouds is supposed to be, actually is in October 2025, it was premiered in Greece. And now in May 18, 2026, is supposed to be premiered in New York. We do have some trailer for that movie. It's a very interesting one, and I want you to look at it. Hopefully when it comes, we will get the full, the whole movie, and then we are going to watch it. But look at this trailer from that movie that they made. I think it based on this trailer. Really, I love that. It's very nice. Yes, let's look at it together.
How can people be so cruel?
People are like seeds. Without spiritual light, we don't grow.
She was brought in with a head injury. A brick was thrown through a bookstore window.
Why would someone do that? I understand you hit your head quite badly.
I'm good. I don't really need to be here.
Well, we will see about that.
Unfortunately, Baha'i businesses are vandalized often.
I'd like to see you again. Maybe we get dessert or go for a walk.
Call me.
Isn't he Muslim?
No, come on. We're not asking for consent. We're just getting to know each other. It's lovely for us to get to know your family.
I will never approve of this bad woman.
Although Sasan has accomplished so much, he is still very curious. I like that about him.
Really happy you were here.
Me too.
All this talk about freedom, this is nonsense.
Is it nonsense for people to investigate the truth for themselves?
Where are you taking her? Where are you taking her?
This is about justice!
This is about love, Sasan. You're in love with Lena.
When we don't know things, it creates misunderstanding.
What we do here, it matters.
We need to open our eyes.
The clouds drifted by like silken veils, cast aside by the sun's relentless light. As though ignorance itself could be burned away.
Yes, friend. This is, I think, it's going to be a very nice movie called "Cast Aside the Clouds," which we will hear it soon, or we will see it soon, actually, and in US. As I said, is going to be premiered May 18, 2026 in New York. Okay, friends, without any further ado, we're going to Dr. Habib Riazati, our dear friends that who really helping Talari Yaran a lot with the different topics and speech that he has for us. And then this is the first time in Talari Yaran that we are going in the English language for actually his program. And then hopefully translator is available and the caption is available as well. So we are going to his program. And then, of course, the same program, duplicate of his program will be performed next Tuesday. We're going to have it fully in Farsi as well. But for the friends who are speaking English-speaking friends, tonight we have it in English. Dr. Rizatidi, I mute you. Welcome.
Hello and greetings on Allah.
Lapa, welcome.
Thank you. I enjoyed the program so far. Enabling, empowering, encouraging. Especially I enjoyed that Christian priest and
Yes.
the experience that he had. I think the topic that you have asked me to dwell on is the concept of prayers and what does prayer mean? What does science, psychology, philosophy, and religion say about prayers? Is prayer really a religious phenomenon, or prayer is the innate nature of human being to approach a higher power, this higher power that every culture that I know of and every religion that I know of has spoken about. That is to say, there are different views on what the prayer really means. But if I want to summarize and then dwell on each section, that we can, within a span of an hour, get a good understanding, and then I let the question and answer to unfold the rest of the concept, is that we as a human being always have yearned for a higher, more comprehensive a more systematic reality. That is to say, from any period in human history, you will see that the people, individuals, have tried to discover, uncover realities that are around them. There was a prayer that was in the indigenous people, American Indians, those who actually in the tribes of Africa who didn't believe in a particular religion, but they had prayers, they had chantings. And when you interview them, when you study them, you will realize that all of them are trying to access a more comprehensive reality. Therefore, scientifically, philosophically, religiously, there is a common definition for prayers. Prayer is one of many avenues available to humankind to unravel a reality which is beyond the limited person that he or she is. That is to say, prayer is accepted by science, prayer is accepted by psychology, and prayer is accepted by religious systems. However, there is a distinction, there is a difference on the meaning of prayers, the purpose of prayers, and so forth. In order for me to become more clear, the people usually, when they are weak, when they are needy, when they are in danger, they use prayer in order to find some kind of sustenance and help. Nobody that I know psychologically, I'm a psychologist, so I can speak as a therapist, that it has been proven that prayers can create an environment for peace and serenity, regardless of what the situation is. Therefore, psychologists such as Jung, such as Adler, such as Maslow, although they did not believe in a God in a way that a majority of religious people believe, they believed prayers is a means to know yourself better, to know humanity better, and to understand the universe better. This is very, very critical. That is to say, prayer is not used as, oh God, give me something, because then you fall into problem and trouble. Because God knows exactly everything that happens. For God, there is nothing that is done which is hidden from his knowledge. See, I'm using the very normal understanding of the concept of God. Although if you change the concept of God, then you have a different definition of prayers. But the people from psychological standpoint of view, they say you do not ask God for anything because God already knows everything. And if you ask him or her, whatever is the objective, you actually are saying that he doesn't know. It doesn't know that you are sick. It doesn't know that you are poor. And he has to help you. So they said this type of relationship between an individual and society and God is not healthy, and also it undermines the definition of God that is omnipotent, omniscient, and all powerful and all knowing. So then the question was, what is the prayer for then? Religious systems differed. For instance, there is a book called Bhagavad Gita. This book that I'm showing you is one of the most important works that has been written. It is attributed to Krishna. And this is a book that very much is influential for psychologists such as Jung, scientists such as Albert Einstein, and Krishna says prayer is a way to know your inner reality. Prayer is not to go outside of yourself, rather to understand that the whole universe is one system, and this system is all interrelated. And in order to find peace and serenity, Krishna says that you need to know yourself better. Because if you know yourself, you know God. Because God is actually dwells within you. The God that is not something, it is not an object that can be put in some place which then become confined by time, a space, and a place. So Krishna believed in prayers, but Krishna also didn't believe in a God that is man-like, a God that hears, the God who sees, the God who gets angry, the God who rewards, the God who punishes. Rather, he considered Krishna that the whole universe is motivated by an energy, if you will, and we call that whatever you like it to be called. Father, as Christianity referred to it, or nirvana, as the Buddhists refer to it. But they said the way to get to know God is to know thine own self. And therefore, prayer is a way to communicate with your own true self. What does that mean, really? Please pay attention. They believe that humankind as an individual has, like Freud was mentioning, has three parts. There is a part which is our ego. There is a part which is our desires. And there is a part which is transcendent. You may call it soul. So they said that reality of an individual is the soul or whatever else you may call it. It is what he shows, ego, and what he or she really is inside of himself or herself. Prayer for Krishna and then later on for Buddha was to know yourself, to know what is your desire, to know what is your hope, to know what are your wishes, and then ask yourself, is those desires and wishes actually create a unified reality for you and others? Please pay attention to this. Prayer, therefore, is related to how much we meditate, how much we reflect, how much we are holy. What do you mean by holy? So the purpose of prayer is to make a person to become a whole reality. That means my inner and my outer, my hopes, my aspirations, my aims, and my desire be something which unifies me spiritually, mentally, emotionally, and physically. Please pay attention, my dear friends. So prayer is not give me something from outside. Krishna said no. Prayer is to unravel, to discover what is already within you. It is very interesting that this concept is also echoed in the Bible. When Jesus says, the kingdom of God is within thee. That is to say that if you want to know God good, whole, you actually is within you. And prayer is to know thine own self. Then you will see Muhammad, the prophet of Islam, he actually says God is more close to you than your own vein. That means God is not in the space. God is not in a sky. Therefore, prayer means to know that inner true self. This is why prayers is mystical but practical. Buddha mentioned the same thing. Buddha said, do not ask for anything. Rather, prayer means, oh reality, oh God, help me to lose something. Please pay attention how Buddha looked at it and how some of the contemporary religious followers look at it. That is to say, you never say to God, please give me this, please give me that. He says that doesn't make sense. A true prayer is to take away things that I should not have. Prayer means detachment. Prayer means thankfulness. Prayers means, oh God, oh reality, help me to be that which I'm supposed to be. Therefore, my dear friends, the difference between Krishna and Buddha and Abrahamian religion is that from Moses, Jesus, Muhammad, they thought prayer means, oh God, give me something. Oh God, help me. Oh God, solve my problems. Krishna and Buddha said, what do you mean? He already knows what is your problems. So what do you mean you are asking him to help you? He doesn't know. Therefore, he said prayer is recognize that the help is always already available within you. And therefore, the more you know yourself and utilize your inner faculties, then your problems will be resolved. I don't know whether you appreciate this distinction. Baha'u'llah is perhaps one of those messengers that his writings contains thousands upon thousands of prayers. But at the same time, Baha'u'llah and later Abdul Baha and later Shoghi Effendi, I hope that you know about these figures. They are the major and central figures of the Baha'i faith. Baha'u'llah has a book called Hidden Words. Hidden Words, which to me is one of the most important work of Baha'u'llah. He says, I have created you rich. I have created you noble. I have made you to be filled with love. And then he says, if I have created you rich, why do you feel powerless? Please pay attention. I have given you, bestowed upon you love. Why do you need to seek help? And then this is the heart of Baha'u'llah's statement. He says, turn thine eyes unto thine own self, that you can find me within thee, standing powerful. As you can see again, Baha'u'llah reiterates what Krishna actually mentioned 2,000 years ago. So the prayers is always good. So why? Individually, prayers has one aim: to unify us individually. That means our belief system, our emotion, our cognition, and our behavior actually have to be harmonized. So prayer is a way to go from differences to unity, from diversity to unity. Please pay attention. That means Habib, when he prays, he has a mind, has a heart, has a feelings, and it is his action. So prayers means that Habib tries to unify his existence. When he tries to unify his mind, his thinking with his emotion, with his action, then he can find peace. He can find serenity. Baha'u'llah and Shoghi Effendi, he said prayer only doesn't mean reciting something. This is why Shoghi Effendi, whenever he wants to use an original word in Arabic, which is munajat, he does not translate it as a prayer. He translates it as a prayer and meditation. This is why if you go and read a compilation of the prayers of Baha'u'llah, which is compiled by Shoghi Effendi, original is Al-Munajat, translated as prayers and meditation. That is to say, prayer is not just words, is not syllables. It has energy, and the energy is felt when we know each other deeper and try to synchronize, harmonize our inner and outer being. Please pay attention, ladies and gentlemen. So until now we realized that prayers is not to someone who lives in the skies. Prayers is not to someone who solves our problems. Because according to Krishna, Buddha, Baha'u'llah, Muhammad, he says already the solution is within you. You need to unravel that solution. This is why Baha'u'llah in Hidden Word, again, Persian, it says, take the first step, and then with the next you enter the realm. That is to say, if I try to unravel myself, then I realize that the aid, sustenance shall come to me. Now, Abdul Baha Abbas, I have to go fast for the shortage of time. Abdul Baha says, do you know, Habib, he has a prayer. He says, seek whatever you want from God. Ask him whatever you wish. He will respond. He will resolve. But he says, Habib, the purpose of revelation is that you get detached from desires. Do you see the dichotomy? Do you see, on one hand, ask whatever you want, but on the second part, detach from what you want. Please pay attention. You never want to go with what you want, because what you want may not be good for you. Therefore, Baha'u'llah, Abdul Baha, Shoghi Afandi, he says, why you are after what you want? Try to discover what you already have. Because what you already have is good, is noble, is rich. So as you can see, my dear friends, religion should not separate us from a real God. God that is within us. God that has given us all the powers. Now, let me go a little bit further. But human being is not individual. Human being has relationship with others. Therefore, prayers has to unite individual with individual and individual with society. Please pay attention. So a true prayer is not about me, mine, I. It is about us. It is about unity in diversity. See? Now, so the larger the scope of the prayer, more holistic the prayer, more acceptable, and it is more real. Let me give you another thing to make it simpler. You are an individual. You have a relationship. Relationship, your fellow human being. And also relationship with the universe. So prayer has to be that which first unifies you with your own self, unifies you with other human beings, and unifies you with the cosmos. Wow, this is called cosmic prayer. If you believe in prayer that has to influence you and others, then you only pray for detachment. Buddha says, the reason that you suffer is because you are attached to your desires. Detach from them. What do you mean detach? Abdul Baha picks up. Detach means that which separates you from your own true self and from others and from cosmos. Do you see how we look at prayers? Prayer actually is a means to unite an individual with his own self, individual with others, an individual with the cosmos. No. Detach from what? Detach from anger. Detach from jealousy. Detach from racism. Detach from anything and everything that causes disunity among you. Wow. So, Baha'u'llah. The aim of the prayer is to make us world embracing. The aim of prayer is that my vision would not be confined to my own self. In fact, Abdul Baha Abbas, in selection from the writings of Abdul Baha, Volume 1, it says when you become mature, you only think about yourself a little bit. When you become more mature, you think about your family. When you become more mature, you think about your tribe, your nation, your country. But he says when you really become true mature, then you consider the whole humanity to be expression of yourself. Wow. So that is beautiful. That means prayer is not about me getting something. Prayer is for me to get rid of these man-made dogmas that creates artificial happiness. Prayer means, help me, oh God. This is by Muhammad. And then Bob repeats. And then Baha'u'llah repeats. Oh God, help me. God, whatever that God means. Help me to see things the way that they actually are, not the way that they seem to be. This is why prayer is a means to actually understand the systematic reality. As you can see, ladies and gentlemen, prayer has nothing to do with our wants. Sometimes you pray for something, an exact opposite shall happen. I have seen it. I remember Baha'is, because I don't know whether there are non-Baha'is present, and I usually, when I make a presentation, for me, Baha'i or non-Baha'i is not the concern. I have to say it the way that you understand it and good for the world. There is a tablet called Tablet of Ahmad. And Baha'u'llah says, whosoever read this tablet with absolute sincerity, we resolve his difficulties. Well, when you lose your job, you go to Mr. Ahmad. Ahmad, I lost my job. Ahmad Agha, I am sick. Ahmad Agha, my divorce has a problem. Ahmad Agha. Ahmad. Have you realized? Try it. You read it, exact opposite takes place. And then you come and say, Ahmad Agha, didn't you listen? But the prayer was not for him to do what you think was good. Prayer was there to encourage you to be honest, sincere. Doesn't he say that in Tablet of Ahmad? He says, calling the believers, calling the severed ones detached, calling the sincere ones, calling the lovers. The purpose of prayer is for me to be a believer in a oneness of humanity, believer in a unification of universal system of existence. I have to be believer. And then I have to be sincere. Sincere means that I do not have any preconception, misconception. Sincere, lover. Lovers. How can I love? Abdul Baha has a tablet. He says, love. First, you have to love your own self. How do you love your own self? He says, when you do not become trapped by your desires, you actually explore that which unifies you, that which unifies you with yourself, that which unifies you with other human being, that which unifies you with the whole universe. Do you see, ladies and gentlemen? So prayers is actually a way to become united. Prayer only requires thankfulness, detachment, and thankfulness. Thankfulness that we can unify ourselves. Let me I tell you one more concept. Do you know, science looks at prayers a little bit differently. But when you look at the Baha'i writings especially, and the way that it looks at prayers, which is not, oh God, give me, give me, give me, give me. Rather, oh God, make me to appreciate what you already gave me. Do you see the difference? Give me, versus help me to appreciate what you already gave me. Because what you gave me is all good. Because you told me kingdom of God is within me. Now, scientists such as Spinoza, philosopher, scientists such as Einstein, Newton, they were religious people, but they had difficulty with the contemporary definition of prayers. When they said prayer means what? You're asking God to do what? To change things for you? Everything that is created follows certain laws, which are universal laws. What do you mean when you pray? Do you pray to understand the laws that are universal, appreciate them, abide them, or you are asking God to change them? And then Einstein and Spinoza in his book, Ethics, and Einstein in his letters that you can find in a compilation called Ideas and Opinion. He says, think for a moment. When you say, God, change this, do you know what you are actually saying? That what you already ordained needs to be revised. He says, but I thought you said God is omniscient. God is powerful. So why he ordains something for you that you now have to ask him to change? He says, it doesn't make sense. He says, rather than praying for God to change it, ask yourself, maybe, Habib, maybe You did not understand the laws that are operating on your soul, on your mind, and on your body. And because you did not recognize them, you actually now suffer. And then, because you suffer, you are asking somebody else to come and help you. And he says, but that guy already helped you, Habib. And if he has to help you, he ceases to be God, the all-knowing, the all-wise, the all-powerful. God doesn't operate based on past, present, and future. He's all-knowing. Don't we say that? So if he says you say that, Einstein, he says, what do you mean? I am poor. Help me. And then Einstein says exactly what Baha'u'llah said. I thought he created you rich. Muhammad, I thought you already know that God is not in heaven, is not on earth. God is in the hearts and everyone who invokes him. Do you see that? Now, Einstein, he said prayers do not change the universal laws. Universal laws have to be recognized, irfan, and have to be abide. This is the first passage of Aqdas. In fact, when you talk about Baha'u'llah, Baha'u'llah means the representative of that God, the ordainer of that universal laws. Now, please pay attention. So why do I pray? I pray that I become aware of those laws, of what is needed to have a healthy relationship with myself, healthy relationship with my fellow human being. Now, let me, in order to conclude, I wrote some things as I was coming to the meeting while I was driving, and hope I didn't get a ticket. And maybe that was God's will. But no, if I got a ticket, that would have been a God's will, because I should not write a note and drive at the same time. You see that? Oh, God help me. No, God didn't help you. Your ignorance tried to help you, and then you use the God, the name of God in vain. But please pay attention. So prayers has an individual, social, collective, cosmic impact. Prayers individually wants to unify person with himself, with others, and with cosmos. Read tablet called Tablet of Universe by Abdul Baha Abbas. Read tablet which is called Tablet of Love and the Nature of Love by Abdul Baha Abbas. When God says, I was a hidden treasure, I like to be known, therefore I love the creation, therefore I created it. Now, the more this love is there, then you do not ask for anything. You only ask for detachment. Detachment from self that separates you. Detachment from your ego, Shoghi Afandi, and closeness to your true self. Please pay attention. It doesn't say self is bad. It says true self. And true self is connected to universal self. Now, prayer is mystical but practical. Mystical because it opens a realm of unknown. Practical means it has to be done by you individually. Look at that. Prayer actually is a means to empty your heart, your mind, your soul from that energy which is flowing within thee. Please pay attention. Now, prayer is to connect you to the system. Please pay attention. The whole universe is a system. System has an element. Human being is one of the elements. Animal kingdom is another element. The whole world is one system. Prayer means ability to understand the intrinsic relationship between elements and the system. Read a book called Process and Reality by a scientist, mathematician called Alfred North Whitehead. Also, let me go. There is a book by Carl Jung. This is the last book that we have of Jung, red book. It was published after his passing. He says prayer means take you from the realm of conscious to the realm of unconscious. He says prayer means to take you from that limited self to the universal self. This is highly, highly important. Now, there is another book by Maslow. Maslow, as you know, very, very spiritual man. He says prayer means a means to be the best version of yourself. Prayer means get rid of whatever take away from the best version that you could be. He says your aim is to become the most holistic person that you could become. Now, the people, there is another one. Eric Fromm, psychologist. The book is very important. You shall be as gods. This is so important word. And exactly what Baha'u'llah says. He says, God is within you. He says, by reflection, by love, by wisdom, by accepting responsibility, you actually become God-like. You become the center of all good. And then the last work that I would like to mention is by Viktor Frankl. He says, prayer is not to ease sufferings. Prayer is for you to find meaning in suffering. The greater the meaning, you become more liberal, more united. This is why they say the prayer, according to Frankl, is, oh God, help me to search for meaning in my life. And then the same author, he said, oh God, help me to find ultimate meaning. So as you can see, my dear, the religion in a true sense, with science, with psychology, actually are united. They say God is inner archetype. Jung, Spinoza, when you are moral, when you think, when your mind functioning well, then you become moral, then you become a spiritual. What do you mean, Spinoza? He says, then you see that the nature and God reflect the same thing. You read Abdul Baha Some Answered Question, chapter 1. He says, if you just dwell into the nature, you can see the sign of unknown within that cosmic universe. Let me continue on and go. So prayer is to undiscover our true self. Shoghi Effendi, Jung, Adler. Prayer is to go to unconscious. Prayer is to help me not to be governed by those experiences that has created trauma in my life. Please pay attention how they look at it. And then Freud, he said, remember, you have a it. It means those desires that are within you. The desires, I want this, I want that. My religion is better. Let those people die. He says, these are the desires that destroys you. And he says the second part is super ego. Super ego are those universal principles that you need to follow in order to be free of pain. And he says the people who fall for it, they suffer. The people who follow super ego means greater than ego, then they find true ego, which Baha'i faith calls it true self. Now, last thing. Maslow said prayer has to raise motivation, motivate you to reach to your peak experience in this life, that you see everything as harmonious. Baha'u'llah, see everything with the eye of God. Abdul Baha Abbas, eye of God, but Abdul Baha, God doesn't have an eye. God doesn't have an ear. God doesn't have a mouth. By seeing with the eye of God means God is the source of all good, Abdul Baha Abbas. Therefore, you see good in everything. You detach from anything which violates universal goodness. And then Abdul Baha Abbas, again, in Some Answered Question, he says, do you know prayer is composed of recognition, intention, your will, and objective, and your obedience to the universal law. Some Answered Question. Baha'u'llah, he says prayer is to make your inner and outer to become harmonized. He says those people who only think inner, but they forget the outer, or those who cling to outer, but they forget the inner, they lose the fact. It is in a tablet, Tafsir Shams, commentary on Sun, and Seven Valleys. It is another way to know how to pray. What is the last valley? Absolute nothingness. To become one with God. Baha'u'llah emphasizes that. How I can become that? He says through servitude. Servitude which is embodied by wisdom. What is wisdom? Let me read these and then perhaps I think we should conclude it. Do you know there is a word in Arabic? Persians recently are using it a lot, called kharat. As far as I know, this word does not have really a Persian equivalence as a one word. This word has been used over 1,000 times in Shahnameh of Ferdowsi. It is very interesting that Baha'u'llah, Abdul Baha, and Bab have a definition of kharat. Please pay attention. I am summarizing. Kharat means a person who is kharatmand, enlightened, is the one who has ilm, knowledge, who uses aql, cognition, who also operates with ishq, love, and he is kharatman, enlightened, that accept responsibility for his being. And he is experiencing true meaning of liberty, independent of time and place. And kharatmand is the one who is ethical, moral. Therefore, now I understand that prayers mean to make me enlightened. Enlighten. Ladies and gentlemen, you know English better than me. En means a light is within me. Enlighten. Please, O Lord, whosoever you pray to, turn on that light within me. That light should be filled with knowledge, with our mind, with love, accepting responsibility, and ethical. No wonder, Dr. Jafari, that Baha'u'llah says, Lasaun khrat miguyad. The tongue of wisdom says, Har kas darای man na, darای هیچ. Whosoever doesn't possess me, he doesn't have anything. And then he says, get rid of everything. از هر چه هست بگذری and find me. Therefore, if I want to finalize, prayers is not begging for something. Prayers is detaching from those things that are not real, the ones that do not make you dependent. Please pay attention. Kharat meant mas'uliyat. God doesn't want you to become dependent. We have a disorder called psychological disorder, dependency disorder. God wants you to find him within your own self. Then you become humble. Then you become, please let me end with this very, very famous prayer. Than perhaps the wisdom, which is shared by Buddhists, by Islam, by Babism, and by Baha'i faith. The wisdom of prayer lies in fostering humility, trust, mental clarity, enabling individuals to navigate uncertainty by releasing control to a higher power. Higher means more encompassing, doesn't mean your law that is high. Please pay attention. It acts as a spiritual and mental and physical tools for gaining discernment, peace, gratitude, while aligning your personal desire with divine purpose. Furthermore, regular prayer is linked to reduce stress and impact your physical, emotional, cognitive, and your purpose in life. Sorry.
Thank you so much, Dr. Yazidi Aziz. We learn a lot from you, and the subject that we had tonight is a very actually important and sensitive topic. It's not just a very easy one. It is sensitive because lots of friends from different religion, including the Baha'is, they thinking the theory of the prayer not the way that you describe it, because you explain it that the prayer is just is going to the inner being and getting more energy, and then clear your mind, and then in order just to have an action service to the humanity and all those things. But this is only one way of looking at it, because most of the friends, especially that some friends who really I have seen and I have heard that they do advertising prayer in some other way. Like, for example, they asking something from God and God give it to them. The miracle happened. Somebody is not supposed to die and did not die and just get alive, or get better, or he was sick and because of my prayer he get better, or something like this. So that angle of it means from the prayer going outside of our self-being. This is an issue that really make this topic is very important. Now, how you want to explain the power of prayer beyond the self? So it means something mystic, something that you're saying that, okay, right now this guy, for example, sick, it happened to be sick, this is the nature, this has happened, and right now they asking God to go against the nature, and then trying to reverse things or do things or something like that. And then it happened to be sometimes because of the process of nature. This one is going automatically because of the several factors going the other way, and then because it goes the other way, then relate that incident to the prayer that they had. So this is the part that really makes maybe the religion is a little bit more sometimes taking it to the fanatic part of it. Maybe this is the only, maybe this is the red line right there. Maybe
Exactly.
from this point and onward is getting very messy.
Yeah, do you know that, Fred, you are very brave to bring that question. I agree with you that 90%, I am being very humble, 95% of the people who look at prayers, they think that there is an answer man up there that wants to resolve their problems. But as I mentioned, Fred, there is a positive and negative aspect of such a thinking. The negative, as I said, like Spinoza, like Einstein mentioned, like Newton mentioned, the universe operates with a certain laws. And those laws are abide. And you usually, the more understanding you have of those laws, the more comfort you feel. Now, if you tell the scientists, they accept it. So scientists doesn't have problem with the concept of prayer, therefore. Prayer means you mentioned one thing, self. In fact, prayer wants from my egocentric self to go to a higher self. هیکل انسانی. That is, I am a part of a greater self. Or, Mr. Einstein, go higher, a cosmic self. Then, if I think like that, then I don't bother an animal, Fred. I do not try to waste the nature. Do you see that? So when we say pray to go further, see, Abdul Baha mentioned it very well. If you are mature, Habib, you only think about yourself. No, it's good because you want to be the best version. But that is not sufficient. Why? Because the world reality is a system for it. So the closer I am to the system, I am more harmonized. Now, you said one thing which is important. I pray for a sick person. That person read Tablet of Ahmad for the relative. That is okay. But that doesn't mean that the person gets healed solely because the person asked for it. It's very natural. In fact, Fred, I was in one of the Baha'i schools. There was a new Baha'is, and we were talking about Tablet of Ahmad. And I didn't know that the mother of this student was sick with some kind of disease. So what happened was he goes home and gathers everybody and says, do you know, I went to Greenacre and there was one man, he said somebody is there by the name of Ahmad Agha. Ahmad Agha resolves everything. So let's gather. And in fact, the physician at the hospital has called upon them to gather. He had the news. And this guy who was a new Baha'i says, see, I even thought about Ahmad. And the physician called the family. No. The physician said, you have about few hours to spend time with this person. Unfortunately, he is on the way out. This girl called me. He said that the physician said, at least you have few hours. I decided with my family to go and read Tablet of Ahmad. And my mother died within a half an hour. He said, Habib, Ahmad, rather than extending the hours. I said,
Shorted now.
I said, hey, buddy, Linda Khanum, I think Ahmad really listened to you. So why? Don't make fun of me. I said, see, he says, if somebody reads it with absolute sincerity, I said, when you are sincere, you have to be detached. You read the prayer to see what is best for that person to happen. Listen, by prayer, you do not cure cancer. Cancer has to be cured. Elements of the universe, potentially and kinetically, you mentioned that, Fred. This is why. Is there any miracle? Well, if I do not know something, it becomes a miracle. But maybe everything is miracle. Sometimes our prayers create miracle. Let me end it with this. Let's look at here and now. What the attitude of a Baha'i who believes in prayer should be. Does it really make a difference whether American dies, Israeli dies, Lebanese dies, Gaza dies, Iranian dies? So what should I pray for? And then I have to ask, if Abdul Baha Abbas was here, how did he pray? Don't you believe in peace, universal peace? Abdul Baha Abbas, no matter what, pray for peace, pray for tranquility. At the same time that you are accepting justice, pray for kharat, enlightenment. Pray for the people to become enlightened. And there are some people who suffer. Please pay attention. There is a story attributed to Abdul Baha. When the war is going on, the people are dying left and right. Somebody comes to Abdul Baha. He says, what are you doing? Why are you building ship? The whole ocean, the whole sea is in turmoil, and you are building the ship? And Abdul Baha, he says, I am just building the elements for the future. I do not want to ignore the reality of war, but I want to be constructive element for peace. And then within that concept, read the letters of the house. Look at the recent letter, Rezvan. Truly, it was Rezvan letter. What was the first message of Baha'u'llah during the first day of Rezvan? He said three things. The first thing was, I have abolished any means of disunity and discord. The second thing, I have created, this is an important thing, I have created a good, high, rich potential in every created being. The house, do not concern yourself with the evils. Recognize the evil and do something about it. But that thing should not be to take side with this or that. Do that which Kharat is requiring. Do you see, Fred? So it is, yes, majority of the people of the world, Fred, they raise their hand as they are weak, they are sick, they are dependent, and they are hoping that the old man sitting up there to help them. While you and I know, all of the participants know, we do not believe in the concept of God as an old wise man sitting up there. We believe in an unknowable essence. We believe Baha'u'llah has come to create a new mindset. So perhaps your topic of prayers is one of those concepts that has to be changed, Fred, because if it is not changed, Buddhists and Hindus, you never can go to them and talk about it the way that you think about prayers. Because as you know, neither Buddha nor Krishna believe in this God like that you and I believe. Do you see that? So I'm trying to, if I didn't do anything, to say that let us to be a better version of ourselves, to be masal. Masala Allah is Abdul Baha. But do you know why he is Masala Allah, the perfect exemplar? Because he is not perfect, because he wants to become, he is not. This life is about becoming, is not being. When you consider yourself, he is the perfect, that means he cannot grow anymore. That means you made him an idol. While Abdul Baha Abbas, Baha'u'llah, Fred, X, Y is about becoming, it's not about being. Shoghi Effendi says, look at the definition of the Baha'i. Baha'i is a possessor of virtues, and it is becoming. Let your tomorrow be better than today, and today better than yesterday. It's not about being. When you are dealing with being, you are talking about self lower. When you talk about becoming, you consider the current status of self, but you want to emerge with a higher reality. Sorry, sir.
Thank you so much. Dr. Yazati, thank you so much for your program tonight. We learn a lot. We are going to have a Persian version of this program on this coming Tuesday. And then we will see Dr. Yazati again. And thank you so much for your program tonight. And as I said, we learn a lot. Thanks so much.
Thank you for allowing me to be of service.
Thank you so
Allah.
much. Allah, thank you so much. Distant friends, we were with Dr. Yazati tonight. We have just one. I want to have. I have a request from you, from all of you. I know that you are 83 right now on the screen. I know that some of you, or most of you, actually all of you, sorry, not the most, not some, belong to the different communities. And then there is a lot of activities in your area, feast and, the celebrations and gatherings and a lot of things. And then what I'm asking you is you are going to talk to your English speaking friends in your community, and then you are working on them. You're going to give them the address of this talar for Thursday programs. Next Thursday, Dr. Hossein Ahdieh is talking about Ummatul Bahar Ruhiye Khanum. He's going to talk about Ruhiye Khanum next Thursday. I want you to invite your English-speaking friends. It's very important. That's your job. I'm going to mention it again on Tuesday. I'm going to go and check back with you, making sure that you have not forgotten. And then we're going to go from there. So that's the first time that I'm asking you to do something. I want you to do it. Pick up the phone and call and go to your community and then asking them to join us. Okay, so we're going to go to Ashraf Safari. Okay, let me unmute you. Go ahead. Ashraf Khanum, you raise your hand. Okay. Looks like you were not. Okay, let's listen to music together and then going for the rest of the programs. Oops. Like it doesn't want to start. Okay. All right.
Gathered now at the mystic hour in the garden of Resval, circling around his blessed tent in the garden of Resval, and the nightingales sing, and the souls are on fire, as the crimson-colored arcs that sail in the presence of the best beloved of the world, in the garden of Resval. Of the rose is strong in the garden of Resvan. The friends are silent, struck with awe in the garden of Resvan, as the Ancient of Days lifts a myriad veils of light, and the new creation sings with joy in the presence of the best beloved of the world, in the garden of Resvan. Ascend his throne in the 12 days of Resvan. Approach him now and quaff your fill in the garden of Resvan. Everlasting life from the hands of his grace, bestowed upon all humankind in the presence of the best beloved